I think the most important thing for me as a gym owner is like, I'm not in like the ninja gym business or parkour gym business. It's like, I'm in the relationship building business.
Okay.
And it's like the biggest thing for me is building relationships with the kids, with the parents. And that's what ultimately keeps them at the gym, at the facility.
Yeah.
So like for literally like the people that are on our ninja team, for example, our ninja team is essentially like one of the best in the world.
Okay.
That's something we really pride ourselves on. Last year at the World Championships, we got 3 world champions. And this past weekend at the Northeast Regional Championships, we had podiums in every single division, and we had 4 regional champions, except for 2. We missed 2 divisions. But our team is really, really good.
Okay.
But all the kids and parents on the team are essentially like family to me.
Oh, wow.
Like they're like little brothers and sisters or cousins or whatever. And like we had this close connection. And so they all just like support us however they can, and we support them however we can. And such an interesting family dynamic environment that we have at the gym.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Lead Lamp Podcast. This week we have Tim Dexter from Dexterity Depot. Actually, you're right across the street, so we have our neighbor on the show. But so we are familiar with you just because your proximity to us, and it turns out we have a couple mutual connections. But I'm interested in just, it's such a different. We've had a couple different fitness businesses on. Yours is just so much different. And it's actually pretty cool because it's like very niche. It's not just personal fitness or training. It is, but it's even more narrow of a niche. So kind of give us a little bit of a history of yourself and what got you into this whole world here.
With me, it's interesting. So for those of you guys who don't know, Dexterity Depot is a Ninja Warrior parkour now World Chase Tag training facility.
Okay.
And
Chase Tag, that's the stuff you see on TV now where they're like going through obstacles, but they're actually playing a game
it's essentially professional tag, which sounds really stupid, but when you watch it, it's a legit sport. Yeah. It's pretty intense. So we just got that recently, but before that, I was just Ninja Warrior and parkour.
Okay.
And so for me, it was always a dream of mine to open my own Ninja Warrior and parkour training facility since I was like in high school, maybe like 14, 15, something like that. Mm-hmm. And for me, I think what started it was when I first got into Ninja was back in like 2006. So before American Ninja Warrior was even a thing, there was a show on G4. You're familiar with G4?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it was called ANC, American Ninja Challenge.
Yep.
And basically they would just like have like submission videos people would submit. And then they'd take like 2 athletes go to Japan and actually compete on like the real Mount Midoriyama in Japan. Mm-hmm. And that then got to A&W, and then now it is what it is. Hundreds of thousands of gyms all over the world. I mean, the sport has developed so much. But when I first started it, I was going through a pretty tough time in my life. I had some pretty bad depression, anxiety. I was going through a whole list of things that were not good mental health wise. And so Ninja for me kind of was this outlet that was a positive resource for me to use to like channel that negative emotion energy in a positive way. Yeah. And it was different. I was like, at the time, I feel like, I don't know, I didn't like play traditional sports a whole lot. So for me, it was this thing that like was fun. It was enjoyable, allowed me to like be creative. And then it was also like this unique challenge. And it was fun to like, because there are like obstacles, it's like every physical obstacle I overcame, it was almost like a mental obstacle overcoming inside. Mm-hmm. And then through Ninja is when I found parkour and fell in love with that as well. At first I started doing just like cross train for Ninja. Mm-hmm. There was this athlete on Ninja Warrior, his name was Levi Muhlenberg. You guys probably, no one watches, probably knows who he is, but he's like one of the OG Ninja Warrior guys from America that was like, at the time, like the best person. And he was a professional stuntman and parkour athlete. And so I like watched his videos and stuff. I'm like, I'm going to try that one day. Mm-hmm. And then I started doing parkour just to train for Ninja, and then just fell in love with it.
Now, walk us through, so you don't have the business yet, but kind of walk us through your progression of like, all right, this is just a teenager doing it in his yard, kind of making, I'm sure you were making your own obstacles or own stuff to train on.
So very quickly it turned into like building obstacles in the backyard, that kind of stuff. And then because it had such a huge impact on my life, I knew that I could help other people. So I started a parkour club at my high school. I went to Cumberland Valley, so local. And so I started a parkour club, but there's a lot of liability issues and whatnot, so we couldn't actually do any movement. Like the club was basically going to be restricted to like watching videos and stuff. Okay. And I was like, well, this kind of defeats the purpose of having this club.
It's not really what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So then what I started doing was teaching classes at a local park at Adams Rickey. I had like a small business, I guess, back then, like called Cumberland Valley Parkour. Mm-hmm. And I just literally taught parkour classes to people of all ages. It was great.
Okay.
And then slowly.
You're in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think maybe I was 15, maybe 16.
Okay.
But anyway, so then, so I was teaching classes and the classes grew and grew and grew. And then had opportunities to work at gyms like that were, so back then, like the first gym was called the Warrior Lab.
Okay.
And so it was in Jersey. And then I went to like their first couple of big ninja events and stuff. And through that, I met the owner, Chris Wilczewski, who is now the president of the World Ninja League, who's the big ninja organization that we compete in. And we'll get to that eventually.
Okay.
But so I met him, and then he liked me enough. And the one year he asked me to actually come and help with their summer camps there at the gym. So then I was like helping them with summer camps for like multiple summers in a row. Cause at the time there was that gym, and then slowly it started popping up, but there was like less than 5 in the entire country.
Oh, wow.
Maybe probably the entire world, to be honest.
It's still pretty underground.
Yeah. Like literally I got in at the very start, like,
Okay.
which is kind of crazy.
At a young age too.
At a very young age. Yeah. But yeah, we can talk more about that. But essentially, so then I worked at these gyms, and from going to these gyms and going to competitions at them and seeing them, it became my goal. It's like, I want to have one of these that's my own.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that point on, I kept teaching the parkour classes at a local park. Then went to college, went to York College, Pennsylvania for entrepreneurship, knowing exactly what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to learn as much about business. At the same time, I was kind of learning by doing it as well in high school, like with the park classes, and then also like working with these other gyms and kind of seeing like what did and what didn't work with them. And then I think when I was a junior in college is whenever we first established the company. And then the gym opened when I was still a full-time college student.
Okay.
It's senior year though.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of this thing I had, and then I just worked towards it since that became my dream. I just worked towards it, you know?
Yeah.
And then
That's you're talking about. That's where you're at now. That's where we opened.
Yeah.
Your senior year in college.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So sorry, I should have clarified that.
No, that's okay.
Open the gym is when that happened. We opened Dexterity Depot it was like March 2019.
Nice.
Ever since then, we've been crushing it, and it's been a wild 6 years.
Yeah. So you have a space. You have to find a space, right? I mean, this is now more the business side of it. Like, you have to have a space that has plenty of room, but you're looking at mainly probably. Did you only look at one place, or were you looking at like just warehouse type buildings?
Yeah, that's
kind of what you're limited to, right?
It's a really long story, and how that all came to be. But long story short, we had like a sublease thing that we were going to be a part of that fell through, and thank God that it did.
Oh, yeah.
Because it would not have worked out.
Been a bad situation. Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad situation, but like we wouldn't have been able to do all the things we did as quickly as we did. Like
it would have hampered.
We would have started smaller, and we wouldn't have. I don't think we would have been as successful as we are now if we didn't just open full capacity right away.
Okay.
So that fell through, and it actually fell through like the day before we got to sign the deal.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really it was kind of crazy how it just fell into place. And then at that point, me and my business partner at the time were already so invested in getting things off the ground that we just decided to start looking for other places. And then we found this one that we're in now, and that's kind of long story short, kind of it without getting all the.
No, that's great.
All the weeds.
That's great. Now, so with the business, it's a little bit different than personal training or fitness, like I was saying. How do you do your outreach to like? What's your normal customer base? How do you get customers? Are you getting customers that are like their parents are into it, and then you get kids that are into it, or how does that all work?
Yeah. There's a lot we can go into there. I mean, for us, it's like most of what we do at the gym is classes. So we teach classes ages 6 and up for ninja, parkour, and now chase tag. And so that kind of is Monday through Thursday. We have open gyms as well. Open gym is like you can come in, try whatever you want. Those are on Fridays and Sundays.
Okay.
And also we do like private lessons. We host competitions. We do group events. We do birthday parties. We do a bunch of different things. But as far as outreach, I mean, most of our clients are kids, probably between ages in like 9 to 14, probably.
Okay.
We do have adult groups as well, adult classes. So if anyone's interested, it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to get in shape and meet some cool people. But for the most part, our target market is ages like 9 to 14. Okay. And so the way we have it segmented is like we're targeting each of those groups maybe a little differently. And usually most of it's through e-marketing, social media stuff. Yeah. The big thing is though is like, yeah, the kids are like the clients, but they're so are their parents. So their parents need to want to bring them. So we're essentially like the way we talk to the parents and the kids are two very different things, you know? Yeah. So it's like getting the kids interested and getting the kids that want to come and stay, but then also making sure their parents want the same. Right. So it's a whole process and how that goes about. It's an experience for both of them. Yeah, so you have literally. To make sure you're watching how that experience is for not just the kids, but the parents as well. Yeah, 100%. And honestly, like, I don't know. I think the most important thing for me as a gym owner is like, I'm not in like the ninja gym business or parkour gym business. It's like, I'm in the relationship building business. Okay. And it's like the biggest thing for me is building relationships with the kids, with the parents. And that's what ultimately keeps them at the gym, at the facility. Yeah. So like for literally like the people that are on our ninja team, for example, our ninja team is essentially like one of the best in the world.
Okay.
That's something we really pride ourselves on. Last year at the World Championships, we got 3 world champions. And this past weekend at the Northeast Regional Championships, we had podiums in every single division, and we had 4 regional champions, except for 2. We missed 2 divisions. But our team is really, really good.
Okay.
But all the kids and parents on the team are essentially like family to me.
Oh, wow.
Like they're like little brothers and sisters or cousins or whatever. And like we had this close connection. And so they all just like support us however they can, and we support them however we can. And such an interesting family dynamic environment that we have at the gym.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of shoot for. It's like we really want people to feel at home, feel safe, feel like they can talk about whatever, so that they can be themselves. And all the kids do that, and that's why they keep coming back. And that's why they like being at our gym so much.
Do you find that when it's on TV or kids are watching it on YouTube or wherever they're consuming that, or even adults, anybody really, that they see that and there's a number of people that see that then and they're like, I gotta try this. I want to get into this.
Yeah, for a while it was like that. The show definitely had a big impact on how people first got exposed to the sport, but now it's grown so much more past it that we don't even really need it anymore.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not sure how much life the show still has left in it.
Yeah.
And I think they're going on season 18 or something like that. And it's slowly like, I know like numbers are going down and views are going down and all this, but it's cool that the sport has grown past
It's created its own momentum.
Yeah, but you're right though. For a while, it very much so was like, oh, like whenever the show was airing, that's when birthday parties would come in more. That's when people would come check out the gym for the first time because they're watching on TV. Then they come in, and then that still happens, but it's not as much as it was when we first opened, for example. And that was 6 years ago. For all the gyms that open at the start of this, like the first gyms, the second gyms, when I was a kid, that definitely was their biggest thing. I remember, I'm close friends with a lot of gym owners, and for them, the show was that thing that was their draw, especially for birthday parties and private events. So it's like you'd have in that season, like we'll call it the busy season when the show was airing, that's when the party numbers would jump up like 3 times the amount. And over the years, it's kind of slowly start to die out. But people have...
Well, it's good that you're not reliant, like not you individually, but that industry has exploded to the point where it's not reliant on the show.
Yeah.
And there's enough people now that are like, I didn't even hear about it on the show. I saw you on social media, or I heard about it this way.
For sure, yeah.
And I want to have my kids party now because
there are still gyms that definitely is their... So the difference is like with our gym, we definitely are more of an elite training facility with our classes and our elite level teams. That's what we do. Some gyms are more birthday party gyms, we'll say, where it's like that's what they strive to get on. And those gyms, I think, will have a hard time when the show does that because they're going to lose that. Yeah. That like, what's the word? Like novelty thing of it all.
Yeah, the novelty.
Yeah. But for us, it's like because we are this elite training facility involved in the true sport of ninja, I think it'll keep going. Yeah. And then also, again, what made this so special to me was it wasn't traditional sport that I necessarily didn't fit in with. So a lot of these kids that don't have sports or hobbies of their own, whether they're just playing video games all the time or they don't like playing baseball or football, whatever, this is something they can still do. So even if the show still dies, like parkour, ninja chase tag will still be that thing. Yeah. Now, hopefully the sports keep growing, and they have been growing a lot. But I think they'll go around way after the show dies
you don't
out,
even know, like chase tag wasn't even popular.
Yeah. I mean, it's
10 years ago. I don't know if I started seeing it until more recently.
Insane.
So you don't even know that there's not going to be like an evolution of the same skill sets that are put into a different form that you can.
For sure. Yeah. We kind of pivoted and had a chase tag. We were actually the second gym in the country to get a quad. Okay. So the quad is the official arena, you could say, court that chase tag's played on. And we're the second gym in the entire country to get one. Okay. So we're literally right at the beginning of chase tag as well. And chase tag has blown up. I mean, by its second season of it being in America, it was already on ESPN.
Well, now when you do it at a gym, is it like leagues? Like I would compete against other people, or like how's that work?
Yeah. So it's getting there. Okay. It's still very ground level, but I am actually one of the ones in charge, or trying to be the one to push the sport to that point. So with the World Ninja League, it's the ninja organization that our ninja team competes in. There's literally competitions every single weekend, multiple, all over the country, all over the world. Chase tag, there's only 3 quads in the country right now, and there's not like an official league set up yet. Okay. Like as far as the gyms go,
it's pretty early yet.
Yeah, but really exciting actually. We are hosting the official U.S. Championships for World Chase Tag this July, July 12th and 13th. It's the first time that a gym is hosting an event like this. Usually they're in like big arenas. The one we did in Texas was like an esports arena. The other one was at the Arnold Classic, if you're familiar with that, over in Ohio. So like they're usually at big like arenas and things.
Okay.
But this is the first time they're actually having it be at a gym. So there were 2 qualifiers. There's a West Coast and East Coast qualifier, and now we're going to have essentially 8 of the best teams in the world come to our gym this July to compete, or in the country, not in the world. Best teams in the country.
Yeah.
As long as with we have also 5 women's teams that will be competing as well.
Okay.
So 12 teams total. They'll be competing in our gym in July for Chase Tag, which
That's
is a
pretty
pretty
cool.
big deal. Yeah. So to say it a different way, basically the sport is growing, it's getting to that point, but it's not there yet.
Yeah.
But once again, we're at the ground level. So like if it continues to blow up, which I really think it will, we'll be right there at the start of it all. So
Crazy to watch it. I love watching it.
yeah, it's the thing about Chase Tag is like it's very high speed, and if you haven't seen it, it's better just to watch it to fully understand it. For those of you that are listening to this or watching it, but Chase Tag is you're playing physical chess. Essentially, you're setting traps. It's all about angles and distance management. Very similar to like striking or grappling in mixed martial arts or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or something. And so there's this chess match happening, but at very high speeds. So it's super fun. There's a lot of strategy to it, a lot of tactics, and it's just really, really exciting. So.
That's pretty cool. So let's get back into kind of the business model real quick. You guys said that you have classes, birthday parties, you do all that, but you also have memberships. So is that similar to, and excuse my ignorance for like asking it this way, is it similar to a typical gym membership where there's times where it's available where I can just come in, do my workout and come and go as I please? Mm-hmm. Or is it more scheduled where like you have set up appointment times or training time where you can come in and that's when it's your time to be at the gym? Right.
Yeah. So with memberships, essentially we have 3 different options available, each with like varying different like structures to them and whatnot. But the basic one we have is our Modest Mover, and essentially it's 9 sessions per month.
Okay.
You also get like 5% discount on products and things, and also 1 free guest pass a month. And essentially you can use those however you want. So you drop into classes. So it's not like you go to Crunch or something and you just show up and just train whenever you want. We have set class times for each age group and skill levels and stuff. So you come to your specific class. And then there's also open gyms as well.
Okay.
So let's say, I don't know, you're a 10-year-old kid, you want to do ninja and parkour. Let's just say your class is 550 to 640. For parkour, that would be on Mondays and Wednesdays. Ninja would be Tuesday, Thursdays. So you can come to either of those classes.
Okay.
So there's something basically every single day of the week, and you can pick and choose which ones you come to, but you have to come to the class that's for you.
Gotcha.
Based on your skill level and age and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So there's almost categories of classes or age group classes where you can attend with your membership.
Yeah. Yep. It's all broken down.
And
by
the open
age
gyms
and
are
skill.
kind of, that's part of the membership, but you can just show up at any open gym.
Those ones are still broken up by age group though.
Okay.
So everything, for the most part, we break things up by age is the easiest way to do it. And then for our classes, it's skill level as well. So.
Okay. Very interesting. And that kind of is probably, that's with any business that has a membership plan. That's kind of like the thing that keeps the heartbeat of the main part of the gym going, because obviously that's recurring revenue, like we were talking about before we started the show. And that's much more, I'm putting my business hat on, not my talking about ninja for a second. That's much more healthy and good to see as a business owner, where you're like, okay, I know I can count on blank number of memberships a month, or, there's always attrition, but it's good to have that as a gym. That's interesting. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was what you're doing, because you kind of have like your own playground for yourself. And essentially, now, obviously, you have to make sure you're capitalizing on it, and it is a business, so you have to keep the doors open and pay your rent and all your things. But when you're not, when you're in the middle of sessions or in between sessions, or you have some downtime, I'm sure it's probably very easy for yourself to just be like, well, I'm just going to go mess around. And
yeah, I feel like it's interesting. I feel like when we first opened, I definitely did that more. And then as the years have gone on, I find myself having less and less time to train myself, actually. Yeah, I still do make time, of course, but I feel like when it first opened, it was like, especially like during COVID, when the gym actually wasn't open to the public and things, I would go and train whenever I wanted, kind of thing. But now that I'm there so much, sometimes it's harder for me to find time to want to train because I'm there all the time. So I want to try to have a life outside of it.
By the time you're done, you're like, I'm pretty exhausted.
Yep. But I for sure, obviously, owning a gym there's a lot of benefits to it. And like I can train and work out whenever I want.
Yeah. Now, do you guys, I was impressed when I was watching the videos and things you have on social media of in the actual, inside your gym. Do you guys edit that layout quite a bit? Or I'm sure you have to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
To some extent.
So most gyms actually don't do what we do, but we change things out literally every single week.
Okay.
We're always changing the gym. So if you walk over there right now and then come back a week later, it's going to look totally different in there.
Oh, wow.
As far as the obstacles that are set up, the way the mats are moved around, we always change things. With that being said, there are some staple obstacles and things to stay up all year round.
Probably some you can't move.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not worth it.
If you see it, it'll make more sense. But for the most part, like the bulk of the ninja stuff is always changing, always adapting and making changes. Especially like after competitions, we can, let's go to competitions, see how some obstacles are, set them back up at our gym.
Get some ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So
or
we're
you see
always
something
adapting.
new and you're like, we have to put, I'm sure you visit other competitions or gyms and you're like, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Like, we got to build something like this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And we're fortunate enough to have one of my staff members, Matt Bradley, is one of the best obstacle designers in the entire world.
Okay.
So he always comes up with crazy stuff. And then I've been doing this for so long too that I'm also really good at coming up with obstacles.
I got an idea.
Courses.
I was driving into work today and I thought of whatever.
Exactly. So we have we were really locked in when it comes to designing courses, designing obstacles. We're actually known for it across the whole World Ninja League. So and from other gyms, like people look up to us in our gym and what we do at our we're known for having like really, really hard comps, really good course design. So it's something we're like.
That's crazy. I mean, like I knew you guys were always there. And I mean, pardon me, I don't mean this in any way, but I never expected it to be like, of a world-class level.
100%. The thing is,
not that you're doing anything wrong. But
no, we definitely could be better at marketing. I'll say that.
But you just don't think of like Camp Hill, like you just don't think of that in our area, especially right across the street. And here, you guys are like a world-renowned.
Literally. So if you're not involved in ninja or parkour chase tag, you maybe do not know about us, but in our community, we are literally at the top. Like,
yeah.
People
that's with
everywhere.
Any,
it's pretty insane. So
your sport's growing, but that's with anything that's kind of not like a mainstream activity for people. Like if you talk about any hobby that's not in the limelight, like anything, there's always like local people that are like, oh, so-and-so, he's the best at that. And he like lives right down the street from you, but you never know. So that's what's so cool about, getting on and talking to any of our guests too, because you just learn like, oh wow, like local person who never realized it if you weren't into it, but they're known everywhere in your community, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And is it a pretty tight knit community, like of
super tight knit,
of even within the network of different gyms?
Yeah, for sure. I think as the sport's kind of grown, it's not as tight knit as it used to be. The sport's changed in a lot of ways, and but for the most part, I mean, I have close relationships with a lot of other business owners, gym owners, and things. And, but it's gotten so big now too that it's like
it's hard to know everybody.
Literally back in the day, I knew every gym owner that existed. I knew everybody. They all knew me, and then I was going to their gyms and all, but now it's like, it's grown so much that you can't.
You're like, who's that new guy?
Yeah. Who's this person? It's like, there's too much going on.
Yeah. I mean, that's good though for the sport.
It's really good. It's like I said, it's changed a lot. Like when it first started, it was all about beating the course, doing your best. It's you versus the obstacles, you versus the course. And then now that it's gotten bigger, there's a little more competitive at times. And there are parents or families that come from other sports like soccer or something. It's very like cutthroat and like, oh, we got to beat them or beat this team. And for me, I try to keep alive that old school mindset with our team and with our kids, because ultimately, like the main reason why people do ninja or any of the stuff that we have at our gym is because it's fun. It's just fun to jump off this thing or climb this thing. You're getting this full body workout, but it doesn't feel like you're just having a good time. And when I started, like I said, it was just about beating the course, always improving yourself, constant improvement, getting better, getting stronger, slowly progressing over time.
Right.
And it's like, that's what we try to teach the kids. It's not about winning. It's not about beating this person or that team. Like none of that matters. Like if you just go out there and have fun, do your best.
It's almost like, can I beat myself from yesterday?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
That's the next, can I chip away at what I did yesterday every day?
Yep. That's literally all there's. Just slowly progression, slowly getting stronger.
That's good for, especially younger kids. That's great for their mentality. Not even get rid of the physical fitness part of it. That's great for them. They're building strength. They're building good habits with fitness. They're learning about themselves. But that's the key, is like mentally for kids, kind of focusing on themselves and saying like, well, I'm better than I was a week ago.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge thing. And that gives a lot of confidence to kids. I'm sure you've seen it too, where we don't have to go into specifics, but like, I'm sure you've seen kids that come in and they're a little bit like apprehensive, or even adults, they're a little apprehensive of it. And then they start to see some success with it. And you're like,
yep,
I've watched them grow into like, they're a more confident person now.
For sure. And we do try to like you said, it's not just about the physical thing. We really do try to coach the kids with the mental side of things as well. Specifically because with the sport, ninja and parkour, a lot of stuff you're doing is scary. A lot of the stuff you're doing is really hard. It's kind of demoralizing sometimes.
Yeah, like what if I miss and I just
exactly. So teaching them how to handle fear, teaching them how to progress through these harder challenges is life skills they can take anywhere with them. Like literally anywhere. And the biggest thing is progression. So your first day at the gym, you're not going to be doing backflips off walls and doing the salmon ladder, the warp ball. It takes time to get to there, but it's just taking slow progressions and steps and doing this progression safely. And then you can literally accomplish anything.
We were just talking about that this morning. Like the first time someone signs up for any class that's new to them,
right?
You're in your head, you're always thinking like, I'm going to do that cool thing. I'm going tonight. It's my first class. And you get there and you're doing like really basic exercises. And you're like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. But you have to start at the fundamentals. And
exactly. Yeah. And we teach that. But again, it's like helping these kids learn these life skills and adults too.
Yeah.
They can then apply and take with them anywhere they go.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the ninja side of things. And I think that's why people like us so much, is because we build these relationships with their parents, with their kids. They see the development, if they're a parent, they see the development in their kid, not only physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah.
I have so many parents talk to me and tell me like, I can't believe this is my kids, because when they first started, they could like barely do a pull-up. Now we have kids that are doing like 20, 30 pull-ups. You don't even, if you saw the stuff these kids do, it doesn't even make sense. Like our one kid, he did 2 one-arm pull-ups at 7 years old. The kid's a freak of nature. Like
that's amazing.
Our kids are nuts. They're so strong.
But do you ever have the opposite of it? Do you ever have parents that are like, this is great and all, we love it, but now my kids are doing this all over my house now. Like they're jumping off everything.
Yeah. But at least they know how to do it safely, you know? Like some people come to us and be like, oh yeah, my kid always climbs trees and blah, blah, blah. It's like, we got to bring them in this to get them to like learn how to do it safely. I'm like, well, you're in the
Let them burn their energy out here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my older daughter does dance, competitive dance. And like my whole, just all around the house is how she travels around the house some days. I'm like, do you ever just walk somewhere? Like you're dancing everywhere. But no, it's great for anything like that. It's just great for not just kids, but anyone of any age.
Yeah, another cool thing too is like with ninja and parkour and chase tag, they're great cross trainers for other sports. So we've had athletes that have come in that are wrestlers or play baseball to work on their like coordination, their body awareness, their physical strength, core strength.
I was gonna say core is
so many different things, and they learn that stuff, but it's just fun. Yeah, and they can take that back to other sports, and then it applies so well. Like the funny thing is like you talk to people that do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like, oh yeah, I got good grip strength. But it's like, no, you don't. You don't have good grip strength.
And I see you hanging on that little like
until you hang on to a piece that's like,
half of
your fingertip. Yeah, climb across that.
I've seen man, I was watching the one video you had, might have been over in your gym, I'm not sure. But you went from like the bar over like it must have been a 6-foot gap between the bar and then this little 1/2-inch thing. And Joe and I were watching and I was like, to hit that little ledge and just hang there from how far you swung across it, in a hand strength on that guy. It's got to be incredible.
It's hard, but again, ninja's not easy. It's a hard sport. And same with parkour. It's definitely physically and mentally challenging, and chase tag is too. And then again, it's just taking the right steps to build that strength to get there.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's funny because like people understand how hard it is until you try it. So one of the things that happens a lot, especially back in the day, was like people would watch the show and be like, yeah, I could do that. And they come into the gym, they're like, I can't do that.
Yeah, you're just eating it. Yeah,
and it is tough because as the sport, ninja particularly, has gotten more and more complicated and nuanced, and the obstacles get harder. Like what was hard like 6 years ago and what's hard now is like,
I guess because everyone starts doing that obstacle or that part of the course, and then they nail it. And more and more people nail it, so they have to kind of keep upping the ante.
To give you context, there's an obstacle called the salmon ladder, which is pretty iconic. You got a bar, you got to hop up the rungs and stuff. When I was starting out, that was like one of the hardest obstacles you could do. Now I have 6-year-olds doing it in my gym. So like, it doesn't even make sense. Like the things people do nowadays are just wild.
Yeah. At what point does like the bar get, not that bar, at what point does the bar get raised enough to where it's like a just absurd obstacle?
Oh yeah. It's just going to keep growing and getting crazier and crazier. Huh. But again, it's all about taking progressions and learning safely, and we do that in our classes. So even though you're doing these really complicated things, again, we're slowly building kids or people up to being able to do those harder skills, and that's something we do. And I think like because I've been involved for so long, I've been coaching for so long, I understand that process better than most people, and also because I was a kid like that one day, going to competitions, being surrounded by these people that I looked up to because I saw them on TV, and here I am being 14 competing against them or something.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be that kid at those events. So I think that's also what kind of separates us from other gyms, is because literally I've been around since the beginning. I was also once a kid that did ninja at a young age.
Yeah. You know what it's like getting into it, and you know what the sport's been through. Yeah. So like you're poised perfectly to
100%.
Not just run a business, but like help people.
Yeah. And it's also why our gym is so successful. It's because of that experience. Yeah. Like how many people can say they've been around since literally the beginning?
Yeah.
Like since the sport started in the country, I've been a part of it, basically.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Which is insane. So
now,
yeah.
So the business model is really cool. I love that you're helping kids and adults, just people of all ages, build personal strength and some confidence, some just core strength, everything. It's neat that you said there's a cool crossover between other sports with different athletes, which is not something I would have thought of, but it makes sense. Like it's common sense. Like anytime you're doing anything, cross training between sports, you're going to carry skills back into that other sport. Now, what I want to touch on before we kind of wrap up is your history in American, or not American Ninja Warrior, but just the Ninja Warrior, and kind of like you were talking about these tournaments and where you've been through the sport, but kind of talk about the obvious part of the name of it is like where you were at and what you've done within Ninja Warrior, just like your progression through it.
Yeah, for sure.
Of like what I think about when I see it like on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, like when I first started training, it was very much so like going to local parks, going across the monkey bars, going to a gymnastics gym to climb a rope. There wasn't like gyms to kind of train at. So training was just like whatever you could find outside. It's funny, like the OGs will call it ANC training. You'll see people like old videos, people like climbing across bridges and doing all this like wild stuff before gyms became a thing. So that's kind of how I started and trained. And once gyms started opening, I would go to them every now and then, but there was none in this area. So I would have to travel to New Jersey or Maryland or somewhere further to go and train at a gym. And then I would do that and do that. And then eventually I was able to compete on the actual show.
How do they find?
Long story short, but
no. It's interesting though. It's like, so like when it's not like nowadays, they probably go to the gyms or they
unfortunately not. So the
they
show
don't have like scouts that look for people.
No, well maybe, I don't know, but the show is very much so. It's a reality TV show. It's just literally what it is. So it doesn't. It's more so about your story, right?
Gotcha.
Like it doesn't matter how good of an athlete you are. It's a matter of if they can promote you or if you have a good story.
Yeah, they gotta sell. They gotta sell a narrative too.
Yeah, it's not a real sport with the show. It's just a TV show, and that's why it's cool to see the sport has grown past that, and now it's a legit sport. It's not just like, oh, here's this reality TV show.
No, yeah,
if your dog died, you're gonna get on the show. Like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine, but like. That's common misconceptions. Like, oh, like if you're a good athlete, you'll be on the show. It's like, no,
no,
doesn't matter.
And I didn't know. I mean, that just goes to prove it. Like, I didn't know.
They're gonna hate me for saying this, by the way, but it's fine. It's just they can't come at me.
I mean, but it is like very interesting. It makes sense though, because like it is a TV show and they're trying to get ratings, but at the same time, it's awesome to see that the community and the sport has carved out its own way.
Yeah,
past to what it really is on TV.
100%. Yeah. It's cool to see. And it's cool again to like have this business that's been a dream of mine, to be able to coach kids and people of all ages to just overcome these obstacles, gain confidence, to take these lessons with them and apply to every aspect of their life. And I hope that like I already know I've had such an impact on so many of the kids' lives, all of the kids' lives that come into the gym. And like, it's so interesting because now I have kids that are like going to college this year and things, and they're like seeing them grow up. And it's so cool to be a part of their life and be able to provide them with this thing that's helped them so much.
Yeah. Well,
continue to help them, hopefully. So.
6 years is, it's quite a long time. You went through a tough time. We all went through a tough time, and you kind of came through that. We were talking before we started the show. That could be probably its own show. But, it'll be interesting to watch, as you said, those kids get older. Once you're 4 or 5 more years down the road, you're 10 years into it. And like kids are coming back from college now, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm still."
Yeah. And
it'll be crazy to see.
And we're not done. I mean, like this was never my goal to stay in the gym we're at now. So we're going to expand to a bigger location, and then hopefully open up more locations around the country, maybe even the world. So it's like, we got a lot of big things coming in the future, and it's very cool to be involved in this sport at such a fundamental level since the beginning.
No, I think it's great. Now, if someone's interested in checking it out, you said you do days like basically open gym, or like do you do not test days, but like kind of
we don't have
trial
like
days?
Test days or trial days at this time. I think it's better like if people are first starting out, it's better just to come to a class, because sometimes when you come into an open gym, you don't know how to use the equipment. You might get a little overwhelmed.
But you offer like intro classes.
Yeah, our classes are for any skill level, for all ages. So if you're interested in trying it, just come and try is the best way to do it. But definitely do a class first, because you're actually learning how to use the equipment, how to use the obstacles, and then come back from open gym and try whatever you want. And again, you could do the open gym too, but I always just suggest coming to the class first.
If it was me, I'd be like it's like that awkward first time you go to any real, like a Planet Fitness or a place like that, like a traditional gym,
right?
Where you go in and you're like,
how do I use this thing?
I'm a fish out of water.
Like even like when you go to like a rock climbing gym, it's like if you're not a rock climber, it's like, okay, well, what does this tag mean? What is a V6? What is that? Like you don't understand how this thing works. But it's good to have someone teach you, and especially because the movements are so nuanced, understanding technique is important.
Yeah.
To make sure you're safe as well.
I gotta ask a question. So I spend a lot of time in the woods. Do you ever go out like and just free climb and boulder?
Yeah. So I personally, I literally love rock climbing. I think it's so fun. The kids in my gym are gonna laugh at me saying that because they'll get so annoyed. But because I say it all the time, just to mess with them. But I love rock climbing. Okay. So I go to the Climbnasium all the time. Yeah, I love that place.
Climbnasium's like that's the staple.
Oh yeah, you gotta get Travis on here, man, or one of the owners there. That's great. But yeah, no, I love the climbing. Climbing's great. So I climb, but it's also good cross training for ninja specifically. Yeah. And I guess parkour in some ways, but it's also interesting because like ninja and parkour translate to climbing. So like I can like do jumps and other like big pulls and things that other climbers can't do because they're not used to that dynamic kind of movement like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I was just wondering. I know I see like out my way, well, you know the area well enough, I'm sure, but like Whiskey Springs, out west off the AT, there's those huge rocks. Yep. And I see dudes out there probably not every other time, but it's quite frequently where they're out there bouldering on like those big rocks on those ridges.
No, it's awesome.
So I don't know if you were ever out there doing that.
Dude, I love it. I wish I could get outside more actually, but it's hard to find time as a business owner. But
yeah.
I do really enjoy rock climbing. So
awesome. Well, that's good. And it gets you outside, like out of the gym too. Gym's great, but being out in the woods is even cooler.
That's a big thing. I think like if I can go back and talk to my old self before I opened a gym, I feel like one of the two big things that have been harder than I thought was one, like dealing with like interpersonal skills with people, like employees, the HR kind of thing has sometimes been a little
like managing the business.
That side of things, not like the finance, all that I kind of was expecting, but like that side of it with HR with people has been harder than I thought. And then also, like for me being so involved in it all, and also it's kind of like what I do for fun, it kind of takes the life out of it in a sense. And it's hard to find time to do things that aren't involved with the business. Yeah. So I think as a new business, if I was talking to a new business owner, I'd be like, well, make sure you make time for yourself. Make sure you're able to detach yourself from the business, because a lot of business owners will take their work with them when they leave and work all day long, and you're just going to lose the passion for it. I think once that happens, then your business will close. I think most businesses, they usually close after 5 years or something like that. And I think it's because most times their owners get burnt out and they lose the drive and love for which got them in it in the first place. Yeah. To be honest with you, I went through a time where I was feeling that way, and then I kind of like to get myself over that hurdle, over that obstacle, and but it was tough. So.
You're also, that first 5 years is also like you're trying to do everything. You're trying to launch. Like you're not that a business goes into autopilot mode. It shouldn't ever, but like that burnout comes with a new business and getting everything right.
There's a lot of pressure. It's hard. Like, it's not easy.
You're trying to build clients up. You're trying to do everything at the same time. You're probably, as a business owner, especially a small business owner, you're wearing all the hats. Yep. So it's not just...
And that's one thing I've actually been good at, which fortunately has been delegating. I think another big thing for business owners is to delegate. Like sometimes you love what you do so much, and it's like, oh, no one could do it better than you, and you just like don't.
I have to have my hands in everything.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you got to be okay with taking a step back and delegating people when you can. Yeah. And I think that's important for not getting burnt out as well. Definitely. And trusting your people. Like for me, my staff is great. I trust them. Like they're like for the first 2 years, I couldn't really leave. I couldn't go on vacations or anything like that because I didn't have the staff to run it. But now, like last year, I had to go to France for the World Chase Tag World Championships. Essentially, did some traveling. I was gone for like 3 weeks. Yeah. And I didn't think about the gym at all.
Yeah. Well, that's a great
feeling. I mean, obviously I did a little, of course I did, but like, it's not like I could do that.
It's in the back of your mind.
Yeah. But most business owners would be like, or small business owners would be like, oh no, I can't leave. Like I got to be there at all times. Like, but you can't do that because you're going to drive yourself crazy. Like you have to make time for
That's yourself. A recipe for disaster.
100%. Yeah. It's important to make time for yourself, do fun things, detach from the business, and then just, remember why you started in the first place. So
definitely. So, all right. People are interested. How do they find you? Obviously, you got all the channels.
Search Dexterity Depot. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We have a website, dexteritydepot.com. I would definitely go there first. Or if you want to watch some cool content, watch the kids, people doing things, you can find us on YouTube, Dexterity Depot. Okay. Definitely check out World Chase Tag. World Chase Tag is pretty awesome. We're actually going to have spectators at the event in July. So if you're interested in watching Chase Tag in person, July 12th and 13th, come through. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What days of the week is that?
It's a Saturday, Sunday. Oh. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. watching chase tag in person it's really intense.
It's probably
So,
faster
check it out.
than it seems like when you
It's
watch it on.
way faster.
I've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's when you're in person, you're like,
And you hear the boards getting hit and like the screeching of shoes. It's intense. Like it's really cool. It's very primal, you know?
yeah.
It's like the fight response. But yeah, check it out. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, all those things. And then if you're interested in trying a class, come and do it. There's literally everyone starts somewhere. If you're out of shape, if you're a crazy athlete, we have something for everybody at our gym. So just come and try it. It's a lot of fun and I don't think you'll regret it. So
no, they were joking about but when we first knew you were coming on, they were joking like, we should get Brett, or I was even joking too. I was like, I should go over there and we should do like a live stream or a video of like,
dude, we
Brett tries the courses and I just eat it or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But just see if I could be up to the challenge. Kind of like what you were saying, where people see it and they're like, I could do that.
Right.
And they get in and they're like, no, this is way different than I thought it was.
But you can though. The thing is like, it is hard. It is challenging. However, literally anyone can do it. It's just natural body movements.
Yeah.
You're climbing, which we're meant to do. We're jumping. It's like any other technique and it's hard, but you can easily progress and be able to do those things.
Yeah. I was going to say not to go into a whole nother side topic again, but they are natural body movements, but it's more or less like calibrating. Like when you learn to skate or when you learn to ride a bike, once your brain learns that pattern, you can probably nail it more often than not. And then you nail that movement or that grab or whatever you're trying to do, you start nailing it more because your body starts connecting that pathway to just hitting it every time.
100%.
It's a pattern.
Muscle memory. Yeah. Building it up over time. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Well, hey, all your social links, everything that you shouted out, we'll put them in the show notes. That way, if anyone's catching this, they can find them later down in the bottom. And then, no, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's been fun. I appreciate it. So
we'll have to come over and check out the gym though.
You gotta do it. It's a lot of fun.
And you walked over here, so we'll have to walk over there.
Yeah, it's really right there. It's fine.
Yeah. But all right, well, I appreciate coming on, and it was great. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.